If you pick your options based on these things, these factors, this will set you up for success. That's like the biggest thing that I can tell you. Because another thing that wasn't talked about. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Letitia and today I'm going to be talking all about how to pick your GCSE options. I am currently in year 11, so I picked my options 2 years ago, kind of around this time, and I just wanted to offer some of my advice, some of my tips, and some of the things that I know now that I didn't know when I was picking my options. I will try to give a very holistic view of everything and the whole process and how to pick subjects that you will actually enjoy. There will be timestamps down in the description if you want to skip to any particular part of the video, so you can kind of just surf around and see which section you want, or you can just watch from the beginning to the end so you don't miss a single tip. I am in year 11, so I picked in year 9, in like January, February time of year 9. My school made it compulsory that we picked a language and then also history or geography. Some schools also make RE like compulsory, so you should definitely check that out with your school. For everybody, everyone has to do maths, English lit, English language, and then also a type of science. And the types of science you can choose from are combined science or triple science. The subjects that I picked were geography, French, sports science, and then I also picked triple science, which took up one of my options. Triple science meaning that I get 3 separate GCSEs in biology, chemistry and physics, so they're not all mushed together at the end. I get an individual score for each science. My sports science exam board is OCR, and that's like a kind of, you could call it equivalent to like a BTEC, so it's not fully exam based, it's coursework based, so I will get into that later on in the video when I talk about coursework versus exam content. But I did want you to know that that's the only option that I picked that isn't like fully exam based. If you pick your options based on these things, these factors, this will set you up for success. So firstly, pick subjects that you find relatively easy. Now, obviously, there's always going to be difficult aspects of every single subject that you do, but if you're naturally better at a subject, then you should pick it. Like, if you're absolutely amazing at art, then it would be great. Better than picking it if you're not so good at it. So yeah, bear your natural talents and what you're good at in mind, and normally it has a correlation to what you like and what you enjoy is also what you're good at, and also how much you enjoy the subject. So if you really don't like a subject, then chances are you shouldn't really pick it for GCSEs. Yeah. Also consider when you're picking your options how you're going to be examined. The specification also does go through this. So whether it's 20% coursework and 80% exams, or whether how many coursework elements you have, or whether it's strictly exam-based assessments, or even how many papers you have and how many marks they are. I would say also pick based on career path, but GCSEs are very free. Like, you don't have to exactly know where you want to be in the next 10 years time. A-levels is a little bit of a different story, but for when you're picking your GCSEs, truly just pick what you are passionate about, because your career prospects might change. You might think you want to do something 1 minute and you might find something that's even cooler or something that you want to do more. And to be honest, GCSEs, in terms of the subjects, they don't matter that much. Maybe like history or geography, maybe like if you wanted to go on and do A-level history or A-level geography, then it's really great to have like those foundations. But for most of the other subjects, it's really not that important in tailoring it to your career path, but the sooner you can, probably the better. Another thing that wasn't talked about when I watched a lot of these like picking your GCSE videos is what resources are available. So there are some exam boards which you'll know that are more popular than other exam boards. There are going to be more resources for some subjects and some specifications than others. So for example, for my sports science, it's a new specification. So there's barely any exam questions or papers on it. There were barely any like free resources on it. So it's very difficult for me to actually, revise that subject because there's not as many resources for that. It can make it a bit difficult to self-study when there's not that many resources for your exam board or for your subject. The next things are what you should not pick your GCSEs based on. Firstly, friends. You've probably heard this from a lot of people, but friendship groups mix up, change all the time, and also you're not guaranteed to be in the same class as your friends. I have people that pick the exact same options as me, but we're in completely different classes, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just pick what you want to do. You're going to make friends or find people in your classes, or you might not, but at least you're going to be enjoying your subject, or you're going to be on the right path for you. Also, the teachers always mix up. Some teachers leave, some new teachers come in. We had like so many different teachers for triple chemistry last year, and it was so crazy. So sometimes you might actually have to teach yourself the GCSE content, and so you shouldn't just do it because you like the teacher. You might not get into their class, and then that's just going to be a bummer for you. So just pick it based on what you like. That's like the biggest thing that I can tell you, because you will need to put in work outside of the classroom, work without that teacher. You might even have to teach yourself some of the GCSE, so it's very important that you pick something not based on the teacher. And lastly, what other people tell you to pick. Take this one with a pinch of salt, because everyone has their own bias in terms of GCSE subjects. There are some subjects that I genuinely would not recommend because it's not something that fascinates me or that I'm interested in, but that might be the perfect subject for you. So take other people's opinions of the subject with a little pinch of salt, but do not let other people's opinions fully dictate what you're going to pick. Next, I'm going to be talking about triple science versus combined science, and I'm going to touch on it very briefly. I might do a whole separate video discussing that, so if you want that, please let me know in the comments down below. I do triple science, and I find that I really enjoy it. I naturally like science, and I want to pick the sciences for A levels, so I thought that GCSE triple science would be a really nice stretch for me. We learn all of the same content that combined science learn, but a few added extra topics which you could say are a bit harder in difficulty, but genuinely I don't really think that they're anything too challenging. It might take a little bit of time to get your head around it at the start, but after you know it, and it's great and it's fun. The only other thing I would say is the assessment styles are slightly different. So I'm talking in terms of AQA. I'm not really sure about other exam boards, but for AQA, the triple exam is longer. It's out of 100 marks rather than, I don't know how much the combined is, but it's a shorter paper. The triple exam is 1 hour 45 minutes, and the combined paper is a lot shorter. I would say combined science, you have to do it, it's compulsory, but if you are really interested in science, I would definitely recommend picking triple science. If you're not really too interested in science, or you're not really like that kind of STEM person, then I just really wouldn't recommend triple science. You might find your time better spent on a different subject, one that you find more interesting, one that you might excel at more. Another note I wanted to say for combined science is that even if you do combined science and you want to go into the sciences in the future, it does not limit you at all. You can still do A-level sciences with really great grades in the combined. So if you just genuinely want to explore all of your passions at GCSE and not really limit yourself to just science and picking triple science, then I would definitely recommend exploring other avenues, and you always know that that's still an option if that's what you choose to do in the future. So it's basically down to what you prefer. For exams, I personally work a lot better under exam conditions. I don't really like coursework at all. At all. I really don't like coursework, but a lot of other people find it easier to slowly work up to something, to do little bits here and there instead of having all of that stress of a big crazy exam at the end. And also with coursework, I find that you get a lot more help and support with your teacher. You can really take your time and do it and get it done to a very high level. So that's the only thing that I would really recommend coursework for, is if you have a lot of exam-based content and you just want to have something that's a little bit different, a coursework subject might be really nice. The thing that I would say is that coursework you sometimes have deadlines in year 10, you sometimes have deadlines in year 11, so you have to be working consistently throughout year 10, all the way through to your GCSEs or whenever you start doing your coursework. I think there are some options to resubmit, but that is genuinely just down to your school, what your teacher says, all of that jazz. So if you are planning on doing coursework, you just need to know that you have to do like a little bit often. Finally, I'm gonna finish off with some top tips to just round off the video and some things just to end with. So, number 1, try to have a balance of different subjects, explore all of your interests at GCSEs. There are some subjects that you won't have been able to pick in Key Stage 3, so it's very important that you take advantage of these opportunities if it's possibly something you might want to do in the future, or even if it's just for a little bit of fun. It's really important to have a balance of subjects that are both academically rigorous but also something that you enjoy. Second tip, check the specification, check your course, read up about it, know what topics are going to be covered, kind of know what revision strategies you're going to use, and start to just think ahead. I know it's kind of difficult, but just have a general overview of what you're going to be doing in that course if you choose to pick it. My third top tip is to do not get bogged down or caught up in careers and your future. It is really not that serious, it's really not that deep. Coming from me, when I was picking my GCSE options and where I am now in terms of careers, it's changing all the time, and GCSEs, you cover such a broad range of subjects that it really doesn't matter that much about careers, about future right now. Just pick what you're interested in and I promise everything else will fall into place. And yeah, without further ado, that is the end of the video. I really hope that was useful for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed that. I might do a few like follow-up videos going a little bit more into depth about any kind of section of the video that you wanted to know about, so please watch out for those and stick around for those. And if you liked what you see or you found what I was talking about useful, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye guys.